thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Tammy. I'm an ACT board member and an artist. Today we're going to learn about Wyncinanki. Wyncinanki is the Polish word for paper cut design. The art of Polish paper cutting and its many forms have been practiced for centuries in Poland. It's been used for creating greeting cards, stationery, as well as many different decorations for the home. Like paper cut snowflakes, Wyncinanki is based on symmetry. So symmetry is a word that you're probably familiar with. Symmetry is when a shape or object has two completely identical sides that are either facing each other or are around an axis. So each side being a mirror reflection of the other. So as you can see here, we've got this axis and each side is completely identical. There are so many different unique designs that you could create using the Polish paper cutting technique. But today we are going to make an abstract flower-like design. Here are two examples that were made ahead of time. See how different they both look? One looks more like a flower and the other is more abstract. There is no wrong color choice or design. That's the best part about creating art. Every art piece is unique and wonderful in its own way. So to get started, you will need multiple sheets of different colored paper. So whether that be construction paper like this, like I'm going to use, or you can grab some printer paper that might be a little bit lighter and brighter colors. You can grab different scraps. These work really great for making some of the smaller shapes and designs that we're going to glue on top of the layers. You're also going to need a glue stick, a pair of scissors, and then I like to have a pencil just in case if I want to mark where I'm going to be gluing each one of my cutout designs. So if you need to go ahead and pause the video and gather up some supplies, now is the perfect time. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is choose a background color. Today I think I'm going to use a red background. So I'm going to start with this nice 8.5 by 11 sheet of construction paper, but remember you can choose any color background that you want. Then go ahead and pick a different color sheet of construction paper or printer paper, and I like to sometimes start with a black or another dark color like blue. Even like dark purple is a nice background color for your next shape. And then you're going to go ahead and fold it perfectly in half the long way, or sometimes we call it the hot dog way, so that you have this nice perfect crease down the center like so. So this crease right here is what's going to help us cut out that unique design that will be perfectly symmetrical and resemble a flower. So if you would prefer, you could always draw your design out with a pencil first. You know, and then cut out your flower design. But traditionally in Poland, they did not plan out their designs at all. It was all completely freeform cutting. So that's what I'm gonna do. I know that I want it to fit within this other 8.5 sheet of paper. So I've gotta trim just a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom, but I also want it to take up most of the page. So I'm not gonna cut too far in here. But I'm just gonna have fun with it. There's no wrong way. Remember, you are kind of creating like a flower, but if it turns out more, you know, abstract, that's really fun too. So now that I have my first flower-like shape all cut out, see how that turned out? It's kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and glue it on the background. I'm gonna keep it as centered as possible. So sometimes I use like some scrap paper or something to keep my desk clean. So I'm just gonna get my glue stick and start gluing away. Alright, so now that I have the flower base down, now we have to start building it up with the different layers and different colors of paper. So if you see on the examples behind me how like every design, it sort of almost gets smaller as it goes in and the layers just kind of build on each other. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is make sort of like a leaf type stem to go with the bottom of my flower. I've already got different sizes of paper, like scrap paper that I can use that I'm gonna go ahead and build off of my base of my flower. So first thing I'm gonna do is just take this and I'm just gonna start being creative. I'm gonna build some kind of stem here. So I've got this kind of funky looking stem leaves that I'm gonna put down here, but something that I really like to do with this project, before I glue this down, just in case I may wanna change what order I layer the colors in, I'm just gonna set this aside and keep working and building different shapes and sizes with different colors of paper before I glue down my final piece. So I'm just gonna put this up here, and I think next I'm gonna add some more leaves looking shape to the bottom of the flower and do some kind of green cutout as well. And I kind of want to make it a little bit smaller than the yellow, so we'll go ahead and start cutting away. So I've got this other funky looking shape that's gonna just add to the stem and base of my flower. Again, I don't know if I want the yellow on the back or the green on top or vice versa, so I'm just gonna set this other shape aside, and next I'm gonna start working on the petals, or like the bloom of the flower. So I think I'm gonna start with this piece of purple scrap that I've got. Again, not cutting all the way through the line because I want to use that crease as the access to keep it symmetrical. So I'm just gonna cut some kind of like flower looking shape here. All right, so I've got this kind of funky looking shape that's gonna work as kind of like a bloom, or the flower petals, just to add some more dimension, some more color. And again, I'm not gonna glue it down yet because I don't know if I wanna put that in the very background or if I'm gonna have a different color in front of it. So I'm gonna cut out another shape. I'm gonna use this blue color. I think that will go really nice to add more colors to it. And this time I think I'm gonna do something a little different. But again, I know I want it to be smaller than this shape so that it will layer, if that's gonna go on top of the purple. So yeah, I'm really kind of happy with the way that turned out. I think that will look really cool on the flower. Put that blue right on top of that purple. And again, I'm just gonna set it on the base of my flower and kind of choose the next color, which I've got this nice little piece of scrap, kind of turquoise color. And with this one, since I've got pointy edges, I think I'm gonna go with more of a soft shape to go on top of that darker blue. This is my other shape that I just cut out, and I love how this is starting to look. I've got the purple and the dark blue and the teal. I'm just building that up to give it some more dimension and shape, and I'm gonna put that aside. Let's see, I really think it would be cool to do another purple, so I'm gonna do another purple on the top of that. So I ended up with this just cute little purple shape that's gonna go right in the center of the flower on top of the teal, which I think it will layer really nicely. I feel like I'm still needing maybe some orange, so I've got this little tiny piece of scrap paper, so I'm gonna kind of create like a topper of the flower, maybe where the pollen is. I ended up with this fun little guy. It's gonna go on the top of the flower. Again, I'm just placing it here. I just like all these different shapes and small, large, different sizes of paper, and then I'm gonna build up the flower and show you how we piece that together and glue it at the very end. Lastly, I feel like just a few little details I'm gonna cut. I got this little tiny little piece of yellow paper I folded in half because I'm gonna make kind of like a little piece of yellow pollen that will go on top of the very top of the flower. All right, so now that I have all my pieces, like I said, I'm gonna play around with the different layers. I've kind of figured out what I want to do with the top, but I'm not sure if I want the yellow to go in the back or if I want the green there, but just gonna build, play around with it, get my plan, and then I can come back and start gluing everything together. All right, and here is the finished flower. Hopefully you're really happy with your Wyncinanki Polish cutout flower design. Remember that all art is beautiful, and I hope to see you sometime soon. Thanks so much for joining me. Stay home, stay creative.